Hello, it's Friday the 25th of October, so a day following from my last video about the bus interchange thingamabob. And yeah, I've just got back from quite a nice date that I had in Southampton city centre where we watched Venom, The Last Dance. So I just wanted to go over my thoughts and reflections of that movie compared to what I was expecting going in. You might be able to just make out my little Spider-Man pin there, so that kind of gives away kind of what I was expecting and a bit disappointed by. And just some thoughts about what could be happening next really in the symbiote versus of Sony and Marvel Studios there. So all in all, it was a pretty good movie though. I really did enjoy watching Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock again, and of course our favourite symbiote Venom there. So they had quite a large... I don't want to spoil anything, that's the thing. So yeah, all in all, it was a great movie there, just with going against some government officials and some stuff to do with Null. I think it was quite a good introduction to what Null is in terms of the symbiotes there, and some sort of some stakes, I'd say, to the game there as to why Venom and Eddie needed to escape from Null's little xenophage alien things. So yeah, straight away with the movie, it was a bit disappointing because it starts from where the last movie, Let There Be Carnage, left off, where they're in like that little bar on a getaway following fighting Carnage there and winning. And of course from what people have been expecting over the past couple of years, they're transported into the MCU, and that's exactly where it leaves off, where the bartender's explaining what Thanos was and the Thanos snap, and just going over all of that. And they make some jokes about, you know, some weird purple alien who has an obsession with stones and stuff like that. And within literal minutes of the movie, again, really disappointing, this is major spoilers, they're teleported back out of the MCU and into their main world again, so Eddie Brock and Venom's original world, where they then go on their adventure, of course, with evading Null and also some government officials and pretty much the feds who are after Eddie Brock as well there, and just the little adventure across Area 51 and Los Angeles. All in all, again, it's a really good movie. It flowed really well compared to a lot of movies, not necessarily in the MCU or TV series, but just movies in general. When it's a shit story, it just drags and it just drags. But with that movie, I think it was about 2 hours or so, and yeah, it flew by really. It felt like minutes going by, as again there were some fight scenes which were quite good. There were some new quirky characters. We meet, I can't remember what her name was, but the woman who runs the shop that Eddie Brock and Venom frequent, she makes an appearance again, which I think a lot of people would have liked. Venom and Eddie Brock call themselves the Lethal Protector, which I think is something that's, again, quite a bit of fan service for certain people. So yeah, that was welcome to see. It's a shame from where the movie leaves off, and again, it was really disappointing that they weren't in the MCU for very long, because there's no interaction with Spider-Man or anything like that. And I do remember a couple of years ago when the last Venom movie came out, people were like, oh my god, finally Spider-Man and Venom are going to be having some sort of live action appearance since the Tobey Maguire movies, but it just didn't happen. So yeah, it really is disappointing that there wasn't any interaction between Spider-Man from the MCU or any universe really. It doesn't appear as though there is a Spider-Man in the Venom and Eddie Brock universe, whichever number that is that we've been seeing in these live action movies, and Spider-Man there. So there's been no interaction between those two characters, which is a shame. It's a huge part of Venom's story really, and his development as a character, that he combines with Spider-Man and then they get rejected, and of course it's a huge change there. It leads to having the White Spider on Venom, and the several abilities that he uses, of course, are inspired by Venom. For example, so the way that he uses his tendrils, similar to web shooters. So yeah, it is a shame that. I feel like, again, it was a really big bait and switch that they have done. People have been talking about that interaction for years. And it's almost like when Wanda killed Reed Richards, so a member of the Fantastic Four, and it was it was a terrible clip really, because he has literal seconds of showtime, seconds, and he's just killed tragically by Wanda, which is a really big, heartbreaking thing that they did do. Not like the Deadpool Wolverine movie that came out, I think, just a couple of months ago, where Chris Evans is the Human Torch, dies in quite a comical way quite quickly after being introduced. Not in a similar way, because that's done with humour, and it's something that's quite fitting for a Deadpool movie. But yeah, when Wanda killed Reed Richards in another part of the MCU, that was really, really tragic. A lot of people did complain about that character just being, ripped to shreds, just being ruined like that. So yeah, it's really disappointing. I'm probably going to keep on saying that, that there wasn't an interaction between Spider-Man and Venom, partly because that's something I was really looking forward to. But what I did like, one of many positives of The Last Dance, was that there's interactions between Venom and other symbiotes, and positive interactions this time, not just Carnage. So there was one that looked a bit like Agony, I want to say a name for, possibly. Maybe that's just a Fortnite symbiote name that came to mind there, but just several different coloured symbiotes there, and they all have quite a big fight scene with, not against each other, but together with a xenophage. So again, one of Noel's awful symbiote-eating creatures there, which looked really put together there. I don't want to say you can't tell it wasn't CGI or some shit like that, but it was really good, the way that fight scene did pan out. So yeah, all in all, it was a great movie. It's a very sad ending, but in a way, for the universe that this Eddie Brock and this Venom are in, it was a perfect ending, really. Again, tragic for Eddie Brock there. It leaves him in quite a questionable predicament to put his life back together again, with going back to normality after such a weird time. But yeah, all in all, it was the best way you could do a trilogy, really. It's there was a bit of a hint towards further events from Noel at the end, but that's something that it has to be done in other universes, I think, at this stage. But it's not something that means that, we could be having the 5th or the 6th of these Venom movies and it's just done to death completely. So yeah, it was ended perfectly there, I was meaning to say. There's a lot of really cool moments, that some of which have already been in trailers anyway, like when Venom partly merges with a horse to be able to take control of that and take Eddie Brock on a horse ride, and he merges with a fish and a frog for some short periods of time too, which is just really cool to see. So yeah, it did expand the character, at least the potential of symbiotes, by having multiple symbiotes in the same room in a friendly way, and of course just seeing those other combinations there rather than just mixing with a human, which was quite creative as well. So yeah, all in all, I think it was a great movie. I don't want to make this video too long because all in all it's mainly just good things that I do have to say, but yeah, I'm looking forward to what's happening next with, I don't want to say with Spider-Man movies, because Venom was done separately, a bit like the Madam Web movie and the other ones now with adjacent characters. There's a Craven movie which is going to be coming out soonish, and that's probably not going to have Spider-Man in too, even though Craven is kind of a Spider-Man aside character there. But yeah, we'll just have to see where it leads, really, and hopefully there's more symbiote inclusion with movies, if there can be something done in the MCU with them, or any other universe at all. It's something that I think a lot of people would like to see. Maybe for a casual viewer, it might be something that they'll need to get their head around, just that it's not in the same universe, as it were, which I think some people have been getting confused by. But yeah, there's a lot of good things that are coming out from Marvel lately. So again, there's the Craven movie, there's another movie called Thunderbolts, there's another one coming about the similar time, I think, about Captain America. So yeah, I'll have to get loads more dates under my belt watching those movies, and we'll just have to keep on talking about them as they come out. There's another video I want to do. I'm going to upload this video tonight, but there's another video I want to do shortly, just about the Marvel Spider-Man 2 game, where there's been some updates on. And if there's anything else that people want me to talk about or maybe do videos about, I don't really know where YouTube's going to be. I'm trying to do this to talk in a more calm way without hurrying myself and stuttering so much, but it could be good for me to try and learn to do some manner of editing besides short little GIFs at the start of YouTube videos. I'll have to see what I can do. But yeah, we'll leave it at this for now. All in all, a really good movie. I do recommend people watch this movie. Watch the first two first if you've not seen the other two Venom movies. But yeah, I hope you all have a great evening again. Thanks for listening to me. Bye bye.